What's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm bringing us the mission guide for Tier 2 of the Crown faction here in Season 4. In this video, you guys can expect me to cover each of these 7 missions in this tier, and once you guys complete the final one, it will unlock Tier 3. Before we dive into it, if you guys do enjoy this content anytime or find this video helpful in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Going through an easy goal of 150 likes on today's video, as well as if you would like to find your way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you just do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so we don't miss you in future videos. Alright, so first up, we have Sample Platter. This one is only going to be one part, and it is fairly straightforward. This one is asking us to kill an enemy with 6 different weapon classes in one deployment. Now, in case you're confused by what that means, it means an assault rifle, an SMG, an LMG, a battle rifle, a marksman rifle, a sniper, a handgun. You guys are kind of getting where I'm coming from. Because you're basically going to need to acquire 6 different types of weapons and eliminate enemies in the same deployment in order to get this complete. Now, most commonly when you guys are taking out AI, they're going to have ARs, SMGs, maybe even a sniper rifle, and in some cases even a marksman rifle, depending on what you're eliminating. So my recommendation for this would be to maybe bring in a battle rifle and a handgun, maybe just 2 weapons that you are least likely to come across, or weapon classes I should say. That way you guys can knock this out a little bit quicker. Now, this is not required. You guys can bring in an SMG and an AR if you would like, eliminate the AI, and obviously pick up whatever weapons you can from them, and then you would need to hit up a buy station to buy whatever weapon class you needed to actually finish this up. This won't be too difficult, being that it is only 6 different weapons. You guys loot it around the map, eliminate AI. It is more than likely at some point you guys should come across 6 different weapon classes. Once you are able to eliminate 6 enemies with the different weapon classes, this mission will be complete. Next up, we have low light combat training. This one is only going to be 2 parts, and it is taking us over to Koshai Complex. Now, if you guys are unsure of where you enter into Koshai Complex, I do have a video over on the channel showing all the bunker entrances, so you guys are going to want to go ahead and check that out. Once you guys are ready to enter the complex, part 1 is asking us to kill 5 enemies without using night vision goggles in the chemical plant. Now, it isn't going to matter which entrance you choose, because obviously there is always a puzzle or a way that you have to go through in order to get to that chemical plant area. Now, during that time, you guys are going to be able to find some night vision goggles, and you are still going to want to pick those up. Now, once you guys actually get to the bunker door where you are going to open it up into the chemical plant, I definitely recommend still popping that night vision goggles on, because it's going to help you identify where the AI are going to be so that you can actually eliminate them. You're going to pop them on, enter into the chemical plant, and be looking for some AI. Sometimes you get really lucky and they're right outside of your door. However, in my case, I had to search around a little bit, and obviously from time to time there will be some reinforcements that come in, so you guys shouldn't have too many issues coming across 5 AI during your time in this area. But once you guys are able to actually identify some AI, I would then pop that night vision off, and you guys should still be kind of able to see them, as their lasers kind of give away their position a little bit, but they are still pretty hard to see, as we'll then be able to aim at them and take them out. Now, you guys are going to need to identify 5 different AI and obviously take them out with your night vision goggles off, but once you guys are able to actually eliminate the 5 AI in this area, which should be pretty easy if you line yourself up properly while having the night vision on before taking them off, you guys will then wrap up part 1. Now, part 2 is asking us to kill 5 enemies with fire in the chemical plant. And one of the most straightforward ways you can do this is to equip a Molotov, and if you guys forget to do so, you could pick one up from eliminating an enemy, and then be obviously able to use that to eliminate the 5 enemies with fire in the chemical plant. Now, you're already in the chemical plant trying to eliminate the enemies without the night vision on, so if you guys are already equipped with a broadside shotgun, maybe as an insured weapon slot, you guys then can throw on those Dragon's Breath rounds, which then would count as fire as well. And you guys would be able to go in here with your night vision off and obviously be able to not only get the night vision eliminations, but the fire eliminations as well. But if you guys don't have access to that broadside shotgun, you then are going to go into the chemical plant and you're going to want to use your Molotovs. Now, it does help a little bit to actually stun your opponents, or at least kind of keep them in place, so that way when you throw your Molotov, they don't walk out of the fire, because it is important that they are eliminated by that fire. But once you are able to eliminate them with the fire from the Molotovs or the shotgun, you guys will then be able to wrap up part 2 and this mission. Next up, we have Vehicular Philanthropy. This one is going to be a 2-parter, and it is going to be taking us over to Vondel. Part 1 is asking us to repair and refuel 3 vehicles at Vondel Police Station. Now, I want to start out by saying this will have to be 3 different vehicles. I did try to go ahead and refuel and repair a single vehicle, leave the area, and after I took some damage and obviously needed to refuel, I came back to the area and it didn't count as a second one. So you guys will have to do this with a single vehicle, and obviously go and find yourself another one, and you'll have to bring it over to this area and do the same process again. But the police station is going to be located towards the center of the map. You guys are going to go ahead and spawn in, identify a vehicle on the map, obviously ping it, head over to it, grab it, and you're going to want to take it over to the police station location. No matter what, whenever you get in a vehicle, it's always missing some gas, so that should be enough in order for you guys to actually be able to take it over and obviously repair or refuel it. This will take it over to the location of the gas station at police station. This will sit here, wait for the progress bar to completely fill up, which will fully repair and refuel that vehicle. Now, once your first vehicle is done, you're obviously going to go ahead and open up your tac map, ping another vehicle, head over to it, jump into that one, bring that one over to the police station, do the same process, and then you're going to do that again with a third one. Obviously, if you have teammates, you guys are able to grab 3 different vehicles, all meet up at the same location, and can actually knock this out fairly quickly. But if you are solo, you will have to go and get 3 individual vehicles and be able to knock this out. But once you guys are able to bring 3 vehicles here, repair and refuel them completely at this police station, part 1 will be complete. complete. Now part 2 is asking us to repair and refuel one boat in Vondel. So once you guys have actually knocked out part 1, or you can do part 2 first, doesn't really matter. You guys are then going to want to identify on your tac map where a boat location is. You guys will go ahead and ping it. Once you get over to that boat location, you're going to jump in, then you're going to open up your tac map and identify where there is a sea or a water gas station location. Then once you guys have actually figured out where that is, you'll ping that and you're going to take that boat over to that location. Similar to what you did for part 1, you're going to, once you get there, obviously park it next to the pumps there and the progress bar will begin. Once that progress bar is actually completed, that will then repair and refuel that boat completely, knocking out part 2 and completing this mission. Next up, we have Scavengers in Vondel. This one is only going to be 2 parts, and I chose to go to Vondel, but I think you guys could actually accomplish this on any map. Part 1 is asking us to infill with a custom weapon. Now by custom weapon, all it means is you need to go ahead and go into your insured slot before you actually go into a match, and you're going to need to customize any weapon of your choice. Basically, all it's asking you to do is equip your insured weapon slot as your weapon going into a match, infill with it, and this first part will be complete. Now part 2 is just asking us to drop the weapon near an enemy operator's corpse. Now I have some good news here. You don't actually have to eliminate any operators in order to accomplish this. This could obviously come across a scavenger, which would lead you to some bags, and or if you guys come across any operators bags or bodies, you guys then will be able to use those to complete this mission. What you want to do is go over to the backpack. If there's no body there, it should still work, because you're going to then drop your insured weapon next to the body or the backpack, and when that thing hits the ground or is sitting next to the body, that will actually knock out part 2. For me, I was able to eliminate a squad, and obviously once the last guy was eliminated, I just threw the weapon down on the ground next to him, was able to knock this out. But again, you don't actually have to eliminate any operators as long as you're able to come across an enemy operator's bag and allow you to complete part 2 and this mission. Next up, we have the Oasis Route. This one is only going to be 1 part, and it is pretty straightforward and easy. It's asking us to plant a tactical camera in the airlock at the Oasis bunker entrance. What we're going to need to do is, of course, before we infill, make sure we replace our field upgrade with the tactical camera. That way when we go in, we already have it set up. Or if you guys don't want to put that on as your field upgrade, you're more than welcome to infill and then loot around the map until you find a tactical camera, or maybe even barter for one. But once you guys have access to it, you're going to head over to the Oasis. Now at the furthest west point of the Oasis, where the structures are located, there is going to be a spot that has a couple of holes in it. If you guys look at the tac map, you guys can kind of make this out. However, I will do my best to show you guys the location on the map where this is located. You guys will make your way all the way out to the Oasis, head down into one of these holes, and you guys will make your way to the left through a hole, follow this back, take another left. It'll basically lead you all the way back to that bunker entrance to go into the Koshai complex. Once you guys are in this little airlock area where you guys can actually access the door, all you need to do is throw that tactical camera somewhere within the little airlock here. So all you're going to do at this point is just throw it on the wall next to the door. The progress should come through and complete this mission. Next up, we have Golden Ticket. This one is only going to be 1 part, and it's asking us to extract a DRC Building 21 keycard. Now there is a couple ways you guys can get access to it, but the easiest way will be to wait through a certain point during the match for the supply drops to come in. Then you guys will want to make your way over to one of those supply drops, open it, and there is a pretty good chance you guys will come across a DRC Building 21 keycard. Same thing goes for using the SAM turrets to shoot down the aircrafts that drop the supply drops. These also have a chance. Obviously the supply drops dropped by the bosses also do as well, but you guys can most importantly also choose to go to a buy station and purchase them, but they are a little bit on the more expensive end. Definitely, if you guys are looking to get a hold of one of these, I just say wait till a certain point during the match where the supply drops come in, go over, hit a few of these supply drops, and more than likely, as long as you guys are the only ones that have hit them, you guys will be able to get your hands on that Building 21 keycard. Once you guys get access to this mission will be complete. Next up, we have our last and final mission of Tier 2 of White Lotus, and that's going to be X marks the spot. This one is going to be 2 parts, and it is going to take us over to Koshai Complex. Part 1 is asking us to unlock the keypad locked room in the Koshai Complex Alpha Cluster with an R4D detector. So now we know we're headed over to the Koshai Complex, and we know we're going to the Alpha Cluster. Before we even head to one of the complex entrances, definitely recommend going to your nearest gas station or looting around the map to find a set of jumper cables and a car battery, as you will need these to power the doors to get to the Alpha Cluster. So once you guys have these in your possession, you'll be ready to head over to the complex. Now, if you guys are confused on where you enter into the complex, I do have a video on the channel showing you guys all the bunker entrances, so you'll definitely want to go and check that out. But once you guys know which entrance you're going to head into, you guys are going to then go into the complex. Now, once you guys get into the complex, you're going to make your way through the little puzzle area or the initial area that takes you to the chemical plant. Now, once you guys have entered the chemical plant, before you can even go over to the Alpha Cluster, you're going to need to get access to that R4D detector. Now, from whichever entrance you go in, you're going to want to make your way towards the center of the chemical plant, where there's going to be a couple of buildings. Now, you guys should be able to identify where these are at, because if you guys are walking around towards the center, there's going to be those places where you can kind of crouch and walk into, where you would typically find a factory wing key. This will make your way through these, and it will obviously lead you in one way or another to one of those buildings in the center. You guys are going to obviously go into one of these buildings, and on the little workbench-like table inside should be an R4D detector. Now, if it's not there, maybe it's possible another team has beat you there, but it is also possible it's in the other building, as there are two in the centralized location of the chemical plant. So if you guys didn't see it in the first one, maybe make your way over to the second little building location, and it could be on that workbench or table in that one. But once you guys are able to get access to the R4D detector, you guys will be prepared to go to the Alpha cluster. But now you guys are in the centralized area, you guys are just going to want to go to your nearest wall and kind of follow the outside walls until you guys get to the Alpha cluster doors. Now you'll know that you've reached these doors because they're going to be giant bunker doors that are still closed, and in between the two of them will be an interface or panel where you will be able to put those jumper cables and the car battery. You guys are going to go ahead and place those in, which will allow you to power the Alpha cluster doors, and you guys will then go ahead and open the doors to the Alpha cluster. Once you guys are able to get into the cluster, you're going to make your way through the hallways here. Be careful of the sentry gun, but eventually you will make your way to a very large open room, which is going to be like a server room. Now at this point, you guys are going to need to clear this out. If you guys go all the way to the right side of the room, there is a set of stairs that leads up to some L2 restricted doors, which you guys are going to then need to take out the sentry guns that are in front of it and all the AI in this area. Now between the L2 restricted doors up here is going to be another door that you guys will need to use this R4D detector in order to aim it at the keypad, and above this keypad will be a set of symbols. These three symbols will mark specific numbers, which you guys will later find on these chalkboards that we're going to look at around this room. So once you guys know what these symbols are, you're going to memorize in what order they are and what symbols you are looking for. Then you're going to need to go ahead and go to the chalkboards around the room here. Now there are quite a few chalkboards. I believe there's like 6 or 7 that do hit up each of them. So I'm going to go ahead and let the gameplay kind of guide you around the room. But you guys are going to go to these chalkboards. The first one is at the bottom of the stairs near where you guys got up to see where the door is. It's going to look at this with the R4D detector, and you guys should see a symbol with an arrow pointing to a number. If the symbol, it matches one of the symbols you have above the keypad, pointing to the number, that will be the number that represents the symbol in which you need to enter. Then you guys will go over to another chalkboard, and you'll continue to go around the room looking at these chalkboards until you've identified the number that belongs with each of the symbols that you have above the keypad. Then obviously you're going to want to make sure you have the correct order, but once you guys are able to identify the 3 numbers that are required, you'll head back over to that keypad and be prepared to enter the code correctly. You will then enter in that 3-digit code, which will then open the door. Once this door opens, this first part will be complete. Now the second part is just asking us to extract the Koshai complex map. Now once you get inside this room, there's going to be a ton of loot. You're going to open up the different boxes, but right in the center on the floor will be the Koshai complex map that you will then need to acquire. You're going to go ahead and then pick this up, and at this point the only thing left for you to do will be exfil safely. Luckily at this point you are already in the Alpha cluster, and there is pretty much guaranteed to be an exfil in here at each and every match. So you guys are then going to go across the room, but maybe about 50 meters. You guys will call in the elevator. It will come in. You guys will go ahead and go in with the Koshai complex map, close the elevator door, wait for the time period to go by, exfil safely, and that will wrap up this mission and tier 2 of the White Lotus faction here in season 4. Now that's going to wrap things up for today's mission guide. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all support in the channel, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.